we are live, George.
Cool. Good evening, everyone. I'm back.
Hey.
Yeah. So, so the last couple of weeks have just been a bit manic. Plus, I enter when it's in the business end of the tournaments. That's what it is. I'm gonna introduce you to my guest person. We'll get on with the show. We're basically just going to be chatting about the women's Euros, how England have been doing. I would say Scotland, but
I'm
we'll
not
start.
saying anything.
We'll start with the second most famous person from Scotland. How you doing, Laura?
I'm good, thank you very much. I'm
Did you
glad to be back in an action on a podcast again. It seems like it's been a while. I know I was on the last one, but it's getting back into the swing of things again. So yeah, I'm all good, buddy. Yourself?
Did you have a nice holiday?
I did, yeah. It was good. It was nice to get away. Not that the fact that I ended up in the clinic the second day with James that he got bitten that bad by mosquitoes, but all's good. We're all alive and we're
I
back
thought
home.
that was just because he was a Rangers fan. He sent him to a clinic. But there you go.
To be honest with you, I think it was the iron brew that he drinks. That we love the iron brew. So yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, cool. It's good to have you back.
thank
Paul,
you.
how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good. Just looking forward to these next England games. I managed to get to pre-season yesterday at London Bees, so I'm enjoying the footballs again.
Oh, nice one. And then we've got a debut for Kevin. How you doing, mate? Great to have you on.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just
Cool.
struggling to get by until the season starts.
It's I'll hold my hands up. I might be hosting a women's Euro show, but international's not really my forte. So I'm more of a club person than an international. But I did shout and wake up my whole house the other night when Chloe Kelly put the ball in for Lucy Bronze. So, but I did that. I didn't celebrate Lucy Bronze. I celebrated Chloe Kelly. So I'm still sticking to I only celebrate Arsenal players. But yeah. Also, thank you to everyone who's joined in the chat. Evening to everybody. Please feel free to subscribe and then drop in your views as well. So we'll crack on. Obviously, we've had the quarterfinals. We'll start with England first. Actually, Paul, I'll start with you. Obviously, England versus Sweden. Half of the ex-Arsenal players play for Sweden, don't they? Apart from one. What was your kind of views going into the game? Like, I'll give mine, and then we'll go into yours. Like, what my worry was is that when we play against anyone who's like in a counter-attacking sort of team, we really, really struggle. And we saw that, didn't we, in the first like couple of minutes? But I did say that if England scored, that I thought Sweden would fold. What was your views?
Obviously we know they've got some great players that can do get teams on the counter and on the break, and our defence is not as strong, I don't think, as it was 3 years ago. And you've also got the Steiner against Leah. They both know each other so well. Which one was going to get the upper hand on there? So I thought going into the game, I thought it was going to be a tight game. I wasn't expecting a massive scoreline like there was 3 years ago. I was a little bit disappointed with how we went behind, and 2 goals in such early on in the game. But yeah, it was a difficult one to watch for a majority of the game until obviously Chloe Kelly came on and
Yeah, no, I agree. Kev, I'll come to you. Obviously, a lot like before we move on. I know Jess Carter's faced a lot of racial abuse, and I'm not really, and I don't think anyone here is one for that. I think it's just disgusting, and you don't need to do it. You can say a player's had a bad game without crossing that line. but she did have a bad game. So, did you think that Jess Carter was probably one of the weaknesses in that back four?
I mean, to be honest, I had said to the only other person I work with that's got any interest in women's football, day before the game, I suggested that I was a bit more worried about Sweden's aerial threat.
Yeah.
So I would have preferred Esme Morgan to Jess Carter.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have after
because
watching
of that aerial threat. And as it happens, they didn't threaten us in the air at all, which was. But yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no place in society for that sort of rubbish. It's much as I'm not Jess Carter's biggest fan, I'm probably going to be one of Michelle Adjumang's biggest fans. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And I think the days of verified accounts as a must-have have got to be coming.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think on social media, like Laura, we've spoken about this plenty of times. Like, it's just idiots sat behind a computer screen with nothing else better to do. Like, so for example, I know it's something to do with women's football, but Arsenal's under-18s played at Dover on Saturday, and some of the people Liam, he went along to that with a few others, and there's people on there just abusing that. I'm like, just grow up, you know what I mean? Like, people are allowed to go out and have fun. But Laura, obviously you didn't have anyone in that fight apart from maybe Stina, just because James made you. But what was your thoughts going into the game to start off with? Like when you see the lineups.
It's hard because you're thinking England's put out their strongest 11, and you think that's obviously going to be Serena's preference going forward in the Euros, and you look at the likes of the players that's in the England team and what they've won, not just with the country but with the clubs as well. And you're thinking that's a strong lineup, but you're also looking at Sweden as well and thinking they've had a really good Euros. They did what they did against Germany. It's going to be a tough one for England.
Yeah.
I did say to James before the game started, I said I genuinely do think England's going to get beat. And then, of course, a couple of minutes in, Sweden score and then get their second through Stina Blackstenius. And I genuinely thought, England aren't coming back from this. But then I put myself back to the Spain game, obviously in the last Euros, and I thought, again, you can never rule England out, just like no one can ever rule the Germans out. And then, of course, you myself as someone that's just genuinely watching the Euros as a fan of football, I was screaming for Serena to make subs. I was screaming to get Chloe Kelly on. I was screaming to get Michelle Adjumang on. And people may look at that and think, you're Scottish, why are you screaming for that? But that's genuinely Arsenal players that we've seen throughout the season make an impact. And you know for a fact they're going to come on that pitch and make an impact as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously when Michelle Adjumang scores, you're happy because she is an Arsenal player. And, yeah, I'm sure the English are happy now that England are through the next stage. And, yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow because I think Italy will be a hard game for them.
Yeah, I'm still sticking to my message in the group. It's only Italy. Just to wind Jack up, to be honest.
I was going to say that. I don't think Jack would agree with you in that one.
Yeah. Well, Jack Soprano, now we know that he's the only Italian person from Grimsby that we've ever met. So, yeah, Paul, I'll come to you. Obviously, it was an absolute horror start. And then we went on the attack, and then on the counter attack, who could it be? It could only be her. Is it a bird? No. Is it a cow? No, it's a Stina. it was probably written in the stars, wasn't it, that Stina was going to score against England. What was your thoughts like on the defensive display with that? I thought, and I don't think this gets spoke about enough because of what we'll talk about what she done later in the game, but I thought, and everyone who's watching this is going to think I hate Chelsea, and you would be correct, I do. But I thought Lucy Bronze and I forgot her name, the other one. Who's the left back?
Kira Walsh.
Keira Walsh
Greenwood.
and Jess Carter. I thought were really, really awful in that first 20 minutes.
Yeah, Stina's had a great tournament through the group stages. Obviously, on the back of the amazing performance she put in a small game back in May as well. So yeah, she was. Yeah, it was. She was probably the most dangerous player on the pitch from their side. But our defence as a whole didn't seem to wake up. Didn't seem to come out right at the start and be performing as a solid unit, whereas in the past they have been. And yes, probably Jess Carter was the weakest player in that back four. And yes, she did have a bad game, but going back to what was said a minute ago, she doesn't deserve the comments that have been made online at all. But yes, Stina scored. It was not take nothing away from the goal. It was a great goal. It was a great performance from Stina, and yeah, it was the one time that we weren't going to cheer a Stina goal. But we said in the past, she turns up for the big games and she puts in the big performance in these big games. She's done it for us so many times in, Conti Cup finals, away at Man City, scoring the last minute winner. That game in Lisbon that we have hardly mentioned at all over the last few weeks. So yeah, it was credit to her, and she took full advantage of our weaknesses, really.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with Dorian actually recently. I'll come to you, Laura, quickly, and then we'll go to Kev. But with Stina, she scores those really, really important goals, but I've noticed that they are against teams that when they're on the counter attack. So obviously she'd done it against England, she'd done it against Barcelona. When we played City, they were going forward, and then we'd done them on the counter attack. Do you think? Obviously, you only get the best out in Stina. You've got to play to her strengths, haven't you, surely?
Yeah, I mean, every team should possibly look at how they should keep Stina on the back burner so that she doesn't obviously catch them on the attacks. I think you get the best out of Stina when she's confident, and it seems like in this Euro she's confident and she's on a high. I don't know if that's maybe coming off the back of a Champions League win, and of course getting the winner for Arsenal and that success. But yeah, she's we doubt her. We doubted her. Many of us doubted her, but I don't think going forward you could ever doubt her. You've just got to maybe just let her do her job when she's got to do it. And yeah, you're just hoping at this stage she's staying at Arsenal, and I'm really happy for her that she got the Euros that she got, and yeah, we'll see how it goes coming into the season for us, for Christina.
Yeah. And then obviously Kev, 2-0 at half time, and then Arsenal saved the day, as I like to paint it. Obviously we brought Chloe Kelly on, Michelle. I think did Beth come on as well, didn't she? Let's talk about Chloe Kelly, mate. Like, I think a lot of fans were happy when we signed her, but I do think there was still that a bit of a question. But Chloe Kelly on that left-hand side was absolutely dynamite, wasn't she?
Yeah. You just can't knock her enthusiasm for the game. I mean, from where she was in January, to where we've got her to now. I mean, given the Champions League final, I mean, her crosses at the Emirates against Madrid, for Alessia would, that's what Chloe Kelly brings to the England team. You can't, and to be fair, I didn't have any doubts because she's one of her own. She came from the academy.
Yeah.
So, which is another reason I'm slightly off topic. I'm quite looking forward to seeing Taylor Hines next season. But when you've got, last 2022 game changers with Tooney and Russo. This time we've got Chloe Kelly, because if Lauren Hemp knackers the defenders out, then you bring Chloe Kelly on. What chance have the opposition got? Let's be honest.
No, I agree with that. Like,
she'll turn them inside out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think she's like having that strength and depth is really, really important. That's what worried me about England in the midfield. That I don't think they have that as much. No. But when it comes to like up in that front three, you've got, like you said, you've got Tooney, you've got Lauren Hemp, and then Chloe Kelly can come on and tear teams apart.
Yeah, I think you're right with the midfield. There's not enough physicality in the midfield.
Yeah.
We've got, Grace Clinton could be that physical presence, but she's not. I don't think she's quite there yet.
No, I don't. I think she's got to step up for me.
Obviously, Jess Park's got the skills, but absolute zero physical presence. She'll get knocked off the ball so easily. And we know the Italians are going to be a bit of a threat physically. So, yeah, we just have to rely on getting the ball up the top for the Sweden game. And my neighbours all woke up.
The pool, obviously, we got back into the game. Like, obviously, I thought Michelle's goal was absolutely brilliant, but it's not spoke about enough, is it, mate? Like everyone's saying about Lucy Bronze. Yeah, she's done well to get us back in the game. Chloe Kelly set it up, but Michelle, at the age she is, like, I don't think any of us, like, we spoke about Michelle a lot last season towards the end of the season. I don't think we would have expected her to have done what she's done, and I just don't think it's spoke about enough.
No, she was. What I felt going through a lot of the game was we were getting crosses into the box, but other than Russo, there was just nobody in the box to receive them, or Russo was knocking them down and there was nobody there to support her. So when the likes of Michelle and Beth came on and Chloe, obviously all playing at the same club together, they know how each other plays, and there was more people in that box. And then the way Michelle took that goal at the age she is was absolutely fantastic. She came off that bench. They'd obviously got a couple of moves worked out, and one of the commentators on one of the clips I was watching back, I'm not sure which channel it was on, say, "Oh, Michelle's coming on. This was in case of an emergency sub." He said, "And we're calling this an emergency." And he was right. 2-0 down, looking at going out in the quarterfinal stage as the defending champions. And what a difference a couple of players can make. I say for a girl of her age to come on that pitch in that position and take that goal and that shot was just amazing. And that'll live with her for the rest of her life now. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think there's no way, I've said this, there's no way Michelle goes on loan next season now.
No, lifetime contract. Give her a lifetime contract.
I'd be shocked if we sent Michelle out on loan next season.
Katrina McCall's going to give the contract. That's what
I think Michelle's done what she's had to do. She's went away and she's she's obviously done what she's had to do through going to Brighton. Sorry, of course you put out on loan for a reason, and that's to learn the game better than what you already have in knowledge. And I think she's done that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think going forward, I think the new front three that you'll see. I'm not saying this season as much, but definitely afterwards it'll be Olivia, Russo, and Michelle or Chloe Kelly. To be honest, and that's quite big for me because everyone knows how much I like Caitlin Ford. So, but I think there's reasons that certain players only have 1 year left, and why they're going and splashing £1 million on Olivia Smith. But we will talk about Arsenal in a couple of weeks. So yeah, then we obviously, Laura, it went to extra time. Everyone, I think every Arsenal fan kind of stopped breathing when Leah went down. I thought, oh, here we go. But luckily, some positive news. Looks like she's absolutely fine. So it's not like Leah doesn't know how to do the dark arts at Arsenal, does she? So, but yeah, so she seems to be all right, luckily. So she should be back for tomorrow. And then it went to penalties, Laura. What was you thinking when it went to at the start of penalties? Did you fancy England with Hannah Hampton getting a ball in her face before that?
To be honest with you, I didn't have faith in Hannah Hampton. Of course, I've not really looked much into the Sweden goalkeeper. That's actually the first I think I've actually ever watched a game where she's played. I don't know where she plays out within national team, but at that point as a neutral, you're just like, whoever's going through is going through. Whatever happens here happens. But wow, I don't think I ever want to see penalties in this Euros ever again. I'm sick of them by this point myself. I just think penalties in this Euros have been absolutely atrocious. But wow, I think I'm still speechless about those penalties in that game because I think that's the worst I've ever seen penalties ever been taken.
Oh mate, it was awful. I thought they would take them like me, not being able to see anything. It was like Jesus.
Yeah, I think the only one I knew that would have stepped up that I would have been confident in taking a penalty was Chloe Kelly at this point. But terrible, absolute terrible penalties, and of course, a bit of luck went England's way. I would say it was pot luck, and yeah, I don't really have much to say about the penalties because I'm still baffled by them at this point.
I think we're still trying to find some of them. Kev, I'll come to you. Obviously, in the penalty shootout, something that really, really baffled me was Sweden when the goalkeeper stepped up to take the penalty as early as she did. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that was a bit? Do you think that was where they probably messed up a bit? Because it was quite early, wasn't it?
It was, but being an ex-goalkeeper, and having taken the first penalty in a penalty shootout,
Did you score?
I can't. Yes.
Oh, no.
And I saved 2 as well.
Oh, okay.
But that was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, they'd done their homework.
Yeah.
And she read her water bottle and went the right way for 4 out of 5. Yeah. And the only reason it was only 4 out of 5 was because Chloe Kelly changed her mind. Yeah. And that's what the grin was for. You think you know where it's going. Wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's she's done her homework. All right, 3 of our first 5 were a little bit weak. And I'm trying to be polite.
It's all right, you don't have to be polite in this.
That's not the word I was using.
Yeah, they were soft penalties.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, give me a psycho, Stuart Pearce, Lucy Bronze, I don't care, that's going to step up and absolutely leather it and just bury it. You know, I don't know what they were shooting at. Shooting for the stars, I think.
I think the only thing I will say about it is Serena was brave with who she picked. Although they weren't the people that you were expecting to miss a penalty, she was still brave. As whether the Sweden manager wasn't. He took Stina Blackstenius off.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, like that's silly. Why are you taking a striker off that you know for a fact that could have put one of those penalties by that could have won you that game and put you through to the next stage of the Euros? Like that was baffling to me as whether I still look at Serena and I think her choices for people to take penalties were brave.
I think the Sweden manager felt a bit under pressure because he thought, I've got to do something crazy here. Hold on, Lionesses in the studio. That was a typical Jonas move. Like I got a little bit of hate when I was like, does anyone know a different channel or something? I'm not a fan of Jonas at all. I think that Scott said he's not the devil. Yeah, there's not much in it.
Yeah, I seen that. I thought, oh, Scott.
Yeah, I was just like, but I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy. Like you got Stina who scores. Like you would back her the whole way for a penalty. Darren's going to fall out his chair in a minute because I'm being nice about Stina. But I just think, nah, mate, you don't take Stina off. And did Lena didn't take one, did she?
No.
And that's what I mean. Like, didn't she knock USA out by scoring a winning penalty? Like, I just don't get it. It was really, really weird. Like the penalty takers' choices, and I don't know. Obviously, as I know you were an ex-goalkeeper, what it reminded me of was that goalkeeper was just taking all the glory. Because obviously, if she scored that, she would have won the penalty shootout. And I felt that was really harsh on her, the manager putting her under that pressure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, she wanted to take one.
Yeah. Well,
she wanted to be the ultimate hero.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't like penalty shootouts anyway because I think it's really, really harsh on anyone. But I was kind of glad like Michelle didn't have to take one. But
I think Michelle was up next after Lucy Bronze, wasn't she?
I think so.
She was in it so much.
Beth missed her one, which is what it is, really. But yeah, she we could have had a full house. But no, like generally, obviously, it was a good. I think that's a very, very good confidence booster to get through. Obviously, we've got Italy next, Paul. It's only Italy, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, nothing to worry about. If we play like we did for the last sort of 10 minutes against Sweden, we've got of normal time and then into extra time, we've got nothing to worry about. And as long as it doesn't go to penalties, we've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it's
I do wonder if the first thing on the training ground the next morning was penalties. Because
apparently it was darts.
Okay.
I did see that somewhere. Apparently they all, after that penalty shoot, they chilled and they had a game of darts. So
Serena's comment tonight proved that they didn't practice penalties after that situation in our press conference. So I'm hoping it doesn't go to penalties for you in this situation.
As long as Hannah Hampton didn't answer her phone again in this press conference. That was quite funny. But yeah, I'll quickly I'll go around before we move on to the other the other games. We'll get your predictions for the semi-final for the England one. So I'll start with you, Laura. You can't say 9-0 Italy.
As much as I want to say that, I think it'll be 3-0 to England.
Yeah.
I do keep thinking to myself, if England go out the way they have been going out, Italy will give England the game. If England change their mindset and go into it with a whole different outlook on how the competition is went, I do think they'll confidently win that 3-0.
Yeah. Kev, what's your prediction?
I hate predictions.
Yeah, that's why I
Because
asked.
I
you, mate.
actually
It's good.
predicted a win on penalties against Sweden the
Oh,
day
there you
before, and I got shot down in flames by many people on Facebook for that. And then one actually did admit, "Oh well, you actually called that."
Yeah.
But I think Italy will give us a damn good game. So I'm probably going to go for a 3-2 win for England because I think it's going to be tight.
Mm.
That midfield battle is where we might struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I think Stanway and Walsh have to turn up for me, which is hard because Stanway's hardly played any football this season, actually, with her injury. And this was the part of my problem with the Serena squad, is that there was a handful of players that have had a lot of injuries, like Greenwood, James, Stanway, Hemp. They've not played regular football because of their injuries. But yeah, what do I know? So
Which is why it shocked me that she allowed Lauren James to play a full 120 minutes the other day and go into penalties. That was really that shocked me a little bit, and I think it shocked Lauren James as well.
Yeah,
She's fairly conservative with her energy use at times. Being polite.
That's really diplomatically put. I'm going to go 2-0 though. Even though I said it's only Italy, I just think they'll just do what they've got to do and go from there. Paul, what are you going for? Are you confident that it should be easy? I know you said about it earlier, but do you think Michelle will start as well?
No, I think she'll be that little secret weapon that's becoming less and less secret each time she plays now. I think realistically we've only got maybe one more game where she can come on and do something spectacular before the other teams cotton on to who she is and what she can do. But I think it's going to be tight. I am confident we can do it, but they will give us a good game. I think it'll probably be 2-1. I can see them getting a goal. They've got a bit of pace, and if they can get in behind, well, obviously depending on the lineup, if it is the same starting lineup as against Sweden, if they can get in behind the likes of Greenwood and Carter, because they have got a very fast winger out on the right, that if they get behind them, they could cause us some problems with there. It's our job to shut that off in the midfield area, which means certain players need to again turn up and put in a performance. But I think we're on a bit of a roll now. We've got that boost to the penalty shootout out of the way. We know it's only one more hurdle, and then we're in another final.
Yeah, against Spain. I did predict the England-Spain final at the start of the tournament, so I'm still sticking to that. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's put their stuff in the chat as well. Ryan, thanks for watching. Esme Morgan to replace Jess Carter. I'm more than happy to see that. Some reason they're talking about Olivia Smith and Victoria Pelova. I don't know why, but looking forward to talking about Olivia Smith and Pelova when we do our Arsenal shows. We'll talk about some more missed penalties. So we'll go into the Switzerland versus Spain, wasn't it? It started running theme, isn't it? Just missed penalties everywhere. So Laura, obviously Switzerland, obviously Leah Volti, Switzerland against Marion, Spain. She can miss as many penalties like that for Spain, but if she starts doing that at Arsenal, sort yourself out, Mario. what was your thoughts of on that game? I think obviously Spain were favourites, weren't they? But I think Leah Volti should be proud of her Swiss team.
Yeah, I mean that first half from Switzerland was spectacular, but of course, looking at the previous games, Switzerland going to like the second half and the performance start to dip, they get tired, and I think that's what happened in the second half for the Swiss team. They got tired. They started to rely too much on Leah doing a bit of work in that midfield, which I think then tired her out. Yeah, they should be proud of that performance, and it was nice to see what Spain did for them at the end of the game as well by giving them that obviously that clap of honour, and I just thought that was a touch of class. But yeah, nice that Leah Walty can just come back to Arsenal, and of course if she's staying at Arsenal, then she's going to come back and she's got a bit of time to recover and get herself back on a stretch where she can be good for us the way she was good in the Euros. I thought she was spectacular.
Yeah.
In the first half for the Switzerland team the other night. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see her come back, and hopefully going forward we'll see some good performances from Leah. And we'll not touch on Mariona's miss either on that penalty because again that was another one just. Yeah.
I didn't see it in more than one way. So
yeah. Again, as you says, if she's going to come back to Arsenal and she's going to start missing penalties, give them back to Kim Little. I'll be happy for that one to happen.
we're going to run out of penalty takers. We are.
It's all right. We've got Chloe Kelly, so we can give them
enough. That's why I was hoping they'd bring Lotta on in the England game just to round it up. But Kev, obviously talking about Spain, I think we know how dangerous and probably favourites how much they are. But you see, like they have a couple of players who don't do as well. Like obviously, say Mario missed a penalty, but then they've just got someone called Bon Mati, so who can do what she does, or Pateas. So it's a wealth of talent, isn't it, with Spain?
It is, but they have been shown they can be dodgy at the back. I mean, they are the best team in the world going forward. There's no two ways about it. But they can be beaten if you can get round behind them, which is something I think the Germans will probably get at. But they are susceptible. They are beatable. I mean, we've beaten them recently. They've beaten us as well, but they're not unbeatable. They're very good, and they are still the best. But they have got their weaknesses if you can suss them out. And as most of them of Barcelona, we know they can be beaten.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
That's it. But I think, I mean, I would predict an England-Spain final, but it's football. And as a bloke a bit older than me used to say, it's a funny old game.
I think that Spain-Germany game is actually a lot harder to call than it would have been a little while ago. So I'm looking forward to actually that. Paul, obviously with Switzerland, we've seen Leah Voltage proved with putting performances in like that. I know there was a lot of talk, obviously, with her injury record. Like, could she be phased out at the club? We don't know. We'll still wait to see that. But like I said to Laura, she's definitely got a lot to be proud of, and they've got some decent young players, haven't they, Switzerland?
Yeah, they have looked a good team through the group, and even against Spain, they've got some very talented players there. And Leah, did really well. She was strapped up on her knee for most of the tournament, so we don't really know how severe that is or what's happening there. But it could be just give her a new lease of life, that she comes back to us, she has a little bit of a rest now, sorts that knee out over the next sort of month or so, and she could come back, a new player. You just look at what happened with Kim Little in over Christmas with her hand injury. She had that little break from the club, from playing regularly, and she came back a completely different player. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, cool. We'll quickly go around, get your predictions, just because Kev loves them. I'll start with Kev, actually. Spain, Germany.
2-1 Germany.
Oh, I love that.
They're going to have to be good to beat Berger. They are going to have to be good.
Yeah.
She is on fire in that goal.
Yeah. Yeah, that save, which we'll talk about in a bit, but probably one of the best saves I've heard for a long, long time. That is probably best in the women's game that I've heard. Laura, what's your predictions?
Yeah, I have to agree with Kev there. I think Spain are going to go into this thinking it's going to be an easy game, considering the way Germany have came into this Euros. Obviously, Sweden beat them, and then France go ahead in that game, and France genuinely thought they had that in the bag. I thought, and I thought France would have had that in the bag as well. But again, you can't underestimate the Germans, and I think they'll go ahead and beat Spain. But again, you can never underestimate the Spanish either. So I think it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, when is it? Is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're tomorrow, aren't we? And then,
yeah.
Yeah. Paul, what's your predictions?
Well, we know Spain are beatable. We know, like I said last week, they can concede 3 but still go on to win a game, because they've got that much talent up front. But if they can keep those players up at the front quiet and sneak the odd one in behind, then they're definitely beatable. But I can see this going all the way to the penalties again.
Well, we could be there a long night then.
I can see it, Germany winning on penalties.
Well, like 2-1 after 14 penalties each.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I can see this one going all the way. So,
if it goes to penalties, I'm turning it off, so I don't want to see them.
If it goes to penalties, everyone will just Paul will look at the WhatsApp and go, "Why is everyone atting me?"
Joyce, it's going to be the first game of this tournament that I'm actually going to miss completely. Will be the Spain-Germany game.
Yeah, there's a bit of a horror story with me. So the only game I'm going to miss potentially is the final, because I'm playing cricket on Sunday. So unless we can hurry up and bowl them out or something, then, yeah. Or if I get out pretty quick, I can say, "Yeah, that's it. Stop this. I'm going home." But yeah, and obviously the other quarterfinals we had Italy against Norway. So, Laura, I'll come to you. Like, obviously, I thought it was a decent game, but another baffling decision for me is why Norway took off Frida. I thought that she was probably one of their best players.
Yeah, I mean, I think very many of us are questioning what the fuck is going on with the Norway camp.
Yeah.
The first opening game, again, they come out and they look like they're just not together. But I was baffled by Norway when they took Frida Manum off, because I genuinely thought she was the one making the runs for them to create something. But of course, many others round about her just weren't recognising the runs she was making. Or they just, I don't know, they just don't seem a team that's together at the moment. And of course,
very disjointed. They look to me. They
we touched a little bit.
Not singing from the same hymn sheet, are they?
Yeah, like we touched a little bit about Guru writing as well. Of course, like yeah, that's not her position, but when you pull on that top that you play for your country, but playing any position, you would obviously play out your skin. But you could see Guru's attitude towards it was, this isn't my position, and I shouldn't fucking be here, basically. But yeah, look at Rachel Daly. Rachel Daly for England get put everywhere, but she was still willing to put her heart and soul into
She
performing
played
for
at left
England.
back, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's crazy. Kev obviously talking about Norway. That it just looks very disjointed. They've got such a talented group of players, haven't they? But they're just not. Do you think that's more on the players or the manager or a bit of both?
I think it's very similar to a certain London club's start to last season. It just didn't seem. They don't seem to be enjoying their football.
No.
And that's got to come from the manager.
Yeah.
You know, So, yeah, I just think it's one day they'll turn up and think, oh, come on, we'll give it a go. And another day, why are we here?
Yeah.
You know, it all comes down from the management. When it's like that, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I agree with that, because it's obviously the emotion and the mood of around the club has to come. Surely, it's led from the manager. So you look at Rene. We'll talk about him. We started with Jonas, and it was very, very negative. And I remember it being negative at that 0-0 Everton draw. Paul's heard all about this. I was not impressed. But then under Rene, that self-belief come back. Obviously, it was a tight group of players. We went and won the Champions League. It is as black and white as that. But with this the Norwegian side, you're right, Kev, it does remind me of very, very similar of that. And surely the Norwegian football association must be looking at that and thinking, do you know what? We need to make a change. I don't know if they will or if they have already, but we need to make a change, because the group of players that we've got here, we're quite lucky with, and it's a special group of players, and they could do something special. There's nothing to say that. If you've got a tournament where the big girls get each other, then why not? They've got a good chance.
Yeah.
I think with Norway I think the manager has just recently been brought in, but I think with Norway is, if you look at Hegerberg a couple of years ago, she went against their FA and was like, she protested. She was like, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I will not play. Don't select me until changes are made. And I think with Norway, it's still in transition, and it's not happening quick enough for them the way they want things to be done. And I think they're still in protest about that. But again, when you pull on your country shirt, you go out there and you play your heart out. You don't be sitting and saying, we're not getting this and we're not getting that, so therefore I'm giving you the attitude that I don't really care, that I'll go to a Euros and I'll play and whatever, but I'm not going to play perfectly, and I'm not going to put my heart and soul into the performance. And I think that's what's happening with Norway. I think they're still against their FA, and I don't so much think it's a manager. I think the manager's just been put into a situation where she's walked in and been told, deal with this team, try and do something with them, and that's it.
Yeah. Do you agree with Laura, Paul? Do you think there's some player power and a bit of a hangover still from with them players like Heidenberg with the previous regime?
Yeah, there's obviously something not right there. I remember in the opening game that they played in, a couple of them were questioning when their number came up on the board to be subbed off, and they were sort of saying, well, what, really, me? And even the commentators were questioning, is this a mistake by the fourth official? But when players are sort of questioning a manager's decision, in such a public environment as European Championship finals, then there's obviously something not right in there. And I think those players need to go back, the coaches need to go back, and they need to have the long discussions over, what are we doing and who's not going to be here going forward. Whether that's a couple of the players that think they run the dressing room, whether it's the coaches that are not got a clue what they're doing in some cases, not mentioning any names, Jonas, but there's it's not going to be guaranteed to be one thing. It could be a whole combination of things, and that is a team out of all of them, I think, in this competition, that need to go away and have a long, hard look at themselves.
I wonder if some of it's to do with Paul, like where it's a newish manager, like Laura said, is she trying to assert her power to say, like, you know what, none of you players are too good to be taken off or to be dropped? Do you get what I mean?
It could be that, but realistically, is this the time to be making those sorts of statements?
Not at all. Yeah, that's what you've got the Nations League for. And
exactly. You've got the Nations League. They've had 1 or 2 friendlies in the build-up to the competition as well. And, in the actual tournament itself is not the place to be doing things like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll watch that space with Norway, really. And then, like, fair play to Italy. I think they've had an amazing tournament. Obviously, they've got England in the semi-finals tomorrow. But yeah, a lot of respect to Italy. They've had a really good tournament. Well, before we finish, we'll wrap up with the Germany versus France game. Kev, obviously, Germany managed to get the job done, but I think that's only probably down to one lady, isn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, without a doubt. To be honest, when I was watching it, and obviously we got the red card for the not so subtle hair pull, I actually thought, my initial reaction was, after the next few minutes, I thought, if Germany don't calm down now, there's going to be more red cards, because it did seem to rattle them for a few minutes, but then I think somebody obviously sort of sent the word around that we got to sort this out and go. And I mean, Berger's save. I mean, not quite David Seaman, but it was along those lines. I mean, the amount of ground she had to cover for that defensive header was something else. And then, she knows her job at the penalty shootout. Well, she knows her job.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they'll beat Spain.
Yeah, I thought I'd watched her play before, obviously, I thought she was a really good goalkeeper, but like proper escalated what I thought of her in that game. I thought, like, it wasn't even just that save either. I think that there was other saves in the game that was as important, but not mentioned about Laura, because obviously as a TV save, it's brilliant, isn't it? But what's your thinking on that? I think Germany were very lucky, wasn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, I think if it hadn't been for Berger, I think Germany would have went out. But as we know, obviously Berger from Chelsea, that she is a world-class goalkeeper, I think, and that's a strong statement. We've seen her do it time and time again, even at Chelsea when she was there, or even with Gotham. I think she's made world-class saves that saved them at times. And wow, what a player! Not even just what she does in a pitch, what that girl has had to endure off the pitch. We obviously, she's had a few cancer scares and things like
Yeah.
that, and to go out and play a game like that, it's just hero stuff, I think. And you just look at it and you think, I'm so glad she's not at Chelsea anymore, because I think she's played the biggest part in where Chelsea have got to, and what a player that she is. And anybody that has that kind of goalkeeper in their team would just lucky to have her.
Yeah, I think she deserves, like I say, like a champagne moment of the tournament, or like I don't think she'll get something like player of the tournament or nothing, but like just one of those awards, like you say, what she's been through off the pitch, but she's on and off the pitch, she's dominated it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's it. Not like I just said, like not even just that save. I just mean generally even her leadership as well. I think has been quite helpful to Germany as well. Paul, obviously. Did you expect Germany to kind of outdo France? Because obviously we watched France play against England, and people probably would have thought, oh, they could do something well here, but then they do what they normally do, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, obviously France did what they did against us, and Germany pretty much fell apart against Sweden. So going into the game, you were looking at it thinking, well, France could quite easily do this, but I think Berger was the difference between the two teams, especially when they went down to 10 players. Her experience, and what she probably said to the team to calm them down after that red card and get them back on track. I think she was probably the difference between the two teams.
Yeah. Cool. We'll wrap it up there. Just want to say thank you to everyone for the show tonight. Thank you to my guests. Thanks, Kev. It's been brilliant.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Laura, thank you as always.
Thank you very much for having us on. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Paul, brilliant as always. Good to be on the podcast all together.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the swing of things.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone in the chat as well. Just remember, please hit that like button, subscribe. It really, really helps. And we will be back next week when we talk some more football, and then we've got a good few shows coming up.
that should be a good night from us, guys. We'll log it out there. I'll play the outro, and then that's it. He disappears at the most wonderful times, doesn't he? Right, good evening, guys, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.
See ya.